Issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio Hotline at 336-831-0864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
This is Duck Insider.
Duck's gonna pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. He's gone. How about that? Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back-to-back for the fourth time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Foley three. Goal! Three is good. Zavala. Wing, pow. Yeah, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Postseason baseball, and this is what it's all about today. It is win or stay home for the Ducks. Oregon hosting the Eugene Regional. Oregon in a winner-take-all game tonight at 7 o'clock against LSU. The Tigers forcing the, quote, if necessary game coming your way tonight at 7 o'clock. It's on the ESPN family of networks, and we'll, of course, have the broadcast for you right here on the Oregon Sports Network. Those of you who are tuning in live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, we've got a full preview and a full breakdown of tonight's game ahead of the 6:45 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. I'll have the call tonight from PK Park. Going to be a little bit funky. The Ducks are actually the road team in this game. I've never understood why it is that way with the way the brackets are in the NCAA regionals, that if you're the host institution and you're the high seed, and if you end up being forced to play in the elimination game, you have to be the road team in your own ballpark after you were already the road team in your own ballpark once, because it's not really supposed to be a home site. It's supposed to be a neutral site, and I don't know. It's always just felt a little weird to me. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The Ducks just going to have to win, and if they win, it looks like Oregon will be traveling to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. A lot of people are wondering, I'm sure, about tickets. There were some limited tickets released. You can go to GoDucks.com and see if any are still available. I do not know if any are still available as of 1 o'clock. Eric already asking us about the Ohio State game. Any idea of away game tickets for Ohio State? I don't know. The timeline, though, I know in the month of June it does start to pick up here. So, Eric, I would keep your eyes peeled over the next, probably a few weeks for some more details on football tickets coming up. Which reminds me, this is our last show on a Monday. Tomorrow is our last show on a Tuesday. And Wednesday is our last show. We always have done this on Duck Insider because the Wednesday of this week is when the NCAA Track and Field Championships start at Hayward Field. They're going to get going in the evening. So we do the show, kind of our full big season in review, and then it's, hey, go out to Hayward, and if the Ducks are still playing in baseball, it's all right, we got super regionals, and at that point, there's usually not a whole lot for me to preview every day on the show, so it's always been kind of a natural break point for us, like, okay, last athletic events, and then we'll talk to you after a few weeks off and then getting ready for football season. That's the plan moving ahead. So for baseball tonight, I really hope, and don't take this the wrong way, track fans, I really hope that I am not in Eugene, Oregon for the track and field championships this week, because I hope I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee with Oregon baseball. Now, Mark Wazakowski, Oregon baseball head coach, who we'll talk with on the Toyota Coaches Corner coming up for our 6:45 pregame show. Coach Waz would tell me hope is a bad strategy. So you know what? I am not going to be in Eugene this weekend. I am going to be with Oregon baseball in Knoxville, and the Ducks are going to take care of business tonight against LSU. That's the mentality that Oregon has had all season long. That's the mentality that Coach Wazakowski has instilled in this team. And that's going to be the strategy tonight. The Ducks don't know exactly who's going to pitch yet. We'll see what Oregon decides with Coach Angier and Coach Wazakowski. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this team does tonight. So let me back up, and we'll give you kind of the breakdown of how we got here ahead of this Eugene Regional Championship winner-take-all game against a storied program in LSU. First of all, I said last week that LSU getting picked to come to the Eugene Regional, I kind of went, oh boy. Not just because LSU is a storied baseball program whose fans travel well. It was actually kind of cool last night hearing the competing LSU and Go Ducks chants. It was actually great. Anytime the LSU fans got going, the Duck fans were like, no. You could hear it on my microphone. I'm sure you could probably hear it on the other side of town with how loud it got at one point. It was great to have fans back at PK Park. Just outstanding to have fans back at PK Park. So when LSU, though, when they got selected for the regional, Paul Maneri had announced, the 3-time National Coach of the Year and a national champion at LSU, he announced that he was not going to come back. He was going to retire. So I thought, well, that's a dangerous team. Not only is LSU good enough to make the field, they were 28 in the RPI heading into the tournament. LSU is kind of that storybook team. You never know what you're going to get when a coach is retiring. Their hitting coach is going to become the head coach at Utah Valley once the season for LSU ends. You never know what you're going to get with a team like that. There's so many storylines that could go on throughout a postseason. Everybody loves the rightful send-off story and those kind of things. Well, if you're the Ducks, certainly you respect that. And I thought, first of all, it was really awesome. Oregon paid tribute to Paul Maneri. Ted Welker read a very nice statement during their first game, LSU's first game, that they actually lost to Gonzaga. So coming out of the elimination bracket, won 2 games yesterday, one of them against the Ducks to force the if-necessary game tonight. That worried me, right? Just because it's a team in LSU that kind of has that storybook about them. Should it have worried me? I don't know. I guess we'll find out here tonight. But that's at least something that was on my mind because Oregon doesn't have anybody on the roster that's been in postseason. It was the first time, and I think we saw some of those jitters during the 13-10 win for the Ducks to open the regional on Friday. That's why we didn't have a Duck Insider on Friday, because the number 14 national seed Oregon beat Central Connecticut State 13-10 Friday afternoon. And I think the first thing is, 10 runs. Yeah, 10 runs. And the Ducks did have to use Andrew Mosiello, Colby Summers. Ducks used some of their big-name pitchers that I think a lot of which are going to be the key to a victory for the Ducks tonight against LSU. So in that game, it was 13-10, and it was definitely, there were some nerves. You could tell. You could see it. Coach Wazikowski talked about it when I talked with him on the Toyota Coaches Corner. And LSU looked like a team that maybe had folded a bit on day one. Gonzaga beat them 3-0. Alec Jacob, the ace for Gonzaga, as good as anybody in the country, his breaking ball is superb, had LSU off balance the whole night. So that meant that LSU had to play Central Connecticut State. And you know what? They went to extra innings against Central Connecticut State. Now, the Tigers did win. They knocked out Central Connecticut State 6-5 in 10 innings. But I was definitely the person that was guilty of going like, man, got shut out game 1, went to extra innings game 2. I will say I thought Central Connecticut State's offense was very good. You could see why they won the automatic qualifier. They were good. They could hit. They were a veteran team. But LSU, I was going, okay, well, they've had to tax their pitching a little bit, lost a close game. I don't know. I feel like I like Gonzaga's chances after Oregon beat Gonzaga 7-3 behind a stellar performance from Robert Alstrom. More on that in a moment. But LSU then bounces back, wins 9-4. The Bats came alive. They won 9-4 over Gonzaga to force the if-necessary game against Oregon that the Ducks lost 4-1 yesterday in what was, I think, a really well-played college baseball game. Yeah, the Ducks made a mistake in the outfield. Tigers made a mistake defensively as well. The difference is that LSU hit a couple home runs on really just a couple pitches that Brett Walker missed, and that's how we got to where we are with LSU and Oregon meeting in a winner-take-all game. Tigers' bullpen's probably a little bit more taxed than the Ducks. Anybody that pitched in that Central Connecticut State game, especially out of the bullpen, probably ready to come back. Colby Summers did pitch in the second game of the regional. He's the ace closer for the Ducks. I think he's going to be able to come back. So what does the pitching rotation look like for the Ducks? Well, Paul Maneri maybe said it best, head coach for LSU in postgame last night, that it's going to be all hands on deck. In a winner-take-all game, weird things can happen. I don't know who the Ducks are going to start. To be honest with you, I only think that's part of the puzzle. It's who's available and how fast does Coach Angier cycle through those pitchers if guys get in trouble. All that being said, don't know what the depth of the Tigers' bullpen is like. They've gotten some great performances here the last 2 games. The Duck offense has got to get things going again. Having just 4 hits against LSU, I don't think is going to cut it. Ducks are going to have to score a few more runs here tonight. And I know, no one get mad at me for saying this, there are some dark clouds overhead. Might be a little bit of liquid sunshine tonight. I actually think that favors Oregon. I'm not an expert on Louisiana weather, but let me just say this. I got asked by a Louisiana radio host this week, so are the guys gonna freeze when they play the night game? And I just kind of hesitated and went, how cold do you think it gets here? Like, I mean, sure, you'll have some showers every now and then, but it's June 7th. It's not freezing. What? So I kind of thought to myself, like, okay, if that's a question being asked, I know there's some warmer thunderstorms in Louisiana. Is that fair? I don't even know. Like, I'm not a meteorologist. Where's Jerry Allen when you need him? He's the local meteorologist broadcaster. So I think with all that in mind, I think it favors Oregon. It's their home ballpark for a reason. Ducks are comfortable in these elements. It's going to be fun tonight. This is what postseason baseball is all about. It's a storybook kind of thing for LSU with Paul Mainieri retiring, 3-time National Coach of the Year. They want to continue his season as long as possible. For the Ducks, it's Mark Wasikowski's second year. They're on a mission right now. They're on a mission. And fans, it was great to see at PK Park. Those of you who are tuning in live in the 1 o'clock hour or wherever you're tuning in ahead of tonight's 7 o'clock first pitch, that needs to be a full stadium. And I really hope that there's some great energy. I think there's going to be some great energy. Great energy. A couple more of the details for the Ducks, because this has been truly a tremendous season up to this point. And I want to tell you about some of the records that have been broken. So Gabe Matthews is the career leader in hits, doubles, and, well, I could list off every offensive category and it would take the entire show. Basically, except hit by pitches, Gabe Matthews is the career leader in that category at Oregon now. And he's accomplished that over the course of the season. Tanner Smith set a single-season record this year for doubles. He had one this past weekend. Aaron Zavala, single-season record for walks. Aaron Zavala, single-season record for runs scored. Kenyon Yovan, single-season record for home runs. That's all happened in this season for the Ducks. And there were a few of them in that 13-10 win over Central Connecticut State on Friday. Ducks set a single-season record for home runs as a team this season as well. Mark Wasikowski gave all the credit to Daryl Hunter first. Daryl Hunter, that's a name you all are going to remember. That's a name that you all will remember because he pitched for Oregon baseball. Went to Thurston High School. Was the first recruit for George Horton when the program came back. So you want to tell me about storybooks? How about the fact that Oregon sets a program record for home runs after Daryl Hunter has worked with this team as the strength and conditioning coach? So that's Daryl's role now. And Mark Wasikowski said it. Daryl is a baseball player who has become a strength and conditioning coach and has an expertise in that realm. That's just a winning formula, right? And what Coach Waz said is it's not, a strength and conditioning coach who's learning baseball. And that's what strength and conditioning coaches do, right? You're going to learn about fitness, and then for each sport, you tailor each thing. That's why those guys are so smart and do so well after their kinesiology degrees for the most part. Well, Daryl Hunter's that way. And Daryl got all the credit from Coach Wasikowski, like, hey, this team got after it in the weight room the last 2 years. And that's part of why you're seeing the home run numbers. Part two of it, Jack Martyr, hitting coach for the Ducks. Brett Thomas, analytics for the Ducks. Marcus Hinkle, assisting with the offense. And, oh, by the way, Mark Wasikowski, a head coach for the Ducks, who knows a little something about offense himself. This team set a single-season record this year for home runs, and they're not done yet. Might need a few tonight to knock off LSU. Kenyon Yovan, 16 home runs. That's an individual single-season record. Kenyon hit 2 of them in the game on Friday. And this is a super cool story. Kenyon Yovan, of course, a pitcher for Oregon coming in primarily. He was a two-way guy, has been his whole career. Dealt with injuries, as we've discussed. Ended up having to really go full-time hitting the last 2 years. So he was an All-American as a closing pitcher as a freshman. Then he was, just an All-American as a hitter last year during that shortened campaign. And this year he sets a single-season record for home runs in an Oregon uniform, and he's climbing the career list for home runs. Paul Mainieri coached Kenyon Yovan on Team USA earlier in Kenyon's career. Famously, and Paul Mainieri talked about this, he said, hey, Kenyon, you can have one at-bat with Team USA. And if memory serves, he struck out in that at-bat. And Paul Mainieri said it's kind of like, you're going to be a pitcher. You're going to be a pitcher, and we're going to work with you on your pitching, is my understanding of the story anyway. Well, what does Kenyon do this year? And then he gets a chance to talk with Coach Mainieri in this regional. Yeah, he's just leading Oregon in home runs, setting a single-season record for home runs in this program, and that's just such a cool story. So that's one thing to watch. I think Kenyon Yovan attacking this LSU pitching staff tonight going to be a real key. The Ducks also had 5 home runs in the game on Friday, the most ever in a game in Oregon program history. Give all that credit to Daryl Hunter and this coaching staff. And, look, Coach Wasikowski is going to give credit to his coaching staff, but let's not forget to give credit to the players for making all that happen, right? This is definitely a symbiotic relationship, as any good teaching, coaching relationship is. In the 7-3 win over Gonzaga, Robert Ahlstrom, I think, maybe had the key start of the weekend because he went 8 innings, saving the bullpen for the Ducks. Yesterday, Brett Walker was masterful for the most part. Made 2 mistakes. 2 of them went over the fence. Ducks lose a really good baseball game 4-1. Brett Walker and Hunter Breaux, though, the only pitchers used. So in the last 2 days, it's been Robert Ahlstrom and Colby Summers for just a limited inning. Brett Walker and Hunter Breaux. Ducks have only had to use 4 pitchers. So I think that the Ducks bullpen, I think that you're going to have the edge if you're the Ducks over the Tigers. Jake Yovan confirming he flew out to left field in Cuba. Where did I see strikeout? Jake, help me out, man. But yeah, so anyway, that's the story. So Kenyon got the 1 at bat, and now he's the single-season record holder for home runs at Oregon. It's just a cool connection with Paul Maneri. So thank you, Jake, though. I appreciate that. Now I can make sure I got it right. Overall, the reason I go through this entire regional to get to this point, I think that Oregon's going to need a combination of what you saw in the win over Gonzaga and what you saw in the win over Central Connecticut State to beat this LSU team tonight. David Matthews says Breaux was excellent. God, he was, wasn't he? Hunter Breaux looked like the peak Hunter Breaux last night. And that's what you have to do in these regional rounds for a guy like Hunter, who they celebrated on Senior Day. Such a cool deal. I think that Oregon's going to need not necessarily that 13-run outburst that we saw against Central Connecticut State, but that approach at the plate, driving balls. Oregon's going to need that mentality, and they're going to need that sort of offensive performance. I think, look, I could sit here and talk about the keys to doing all this. At the end of the day, what do the Ducks need to do? They need to get back to the offense that we saw on Friday, where Coach Wasikowski was really happy with the way that Oregon's offense was approaching the game, the way they were performing. And then they're going to need another great pitching performance. And it's probably going to be by a collection of guys. Now, I will say this. Some of the oddities that have happened in these regionals before. Steven Nagosic, he was really a reliever for the Ducks at this time. He dueled, at the time, one of the best pitchers in the country for Vanderbilt in a regional that the Ducks were in. Ducks ended up losing that game, but Steven Nagosic was not the reason why. He was outstanding against Vanderbilt in that regional. Hadn't really been a starter. Oregon might need one of those performances here tonight, but I think it's going to be by committee, and we'll see what the plan is when I talk to Coach Wasikowski for the Total Coaches Corner coming up this afternoon. Also, I will say outfield defense, I think, is going to be a key in this game. I think outfield defense is a huge key because Ducks did have a mistake in the outfield. Anthony Hall and Tanner Smith, I think both would tell you they could have played a ball better that was a triple and an error that led to a run scoring. An errant inside the park home run, if you will. All in all, those are the kinds of mistakes in a 4-1 game that make it feel like it was bigger than a 4-1 loss. But as you hear from Coach Wasikowski in a moment, this was just a good baseball game. And I think we're in for another really good one tonight. 6:45 pregame show, just after 7 o'clock first pitch at PK Park. Win or stay home for the Ducks. They'd like to be traveling to Knoxville and continuing their run toward a postseason title. And hopefully it's going through. Nope. It is going through Knoxville. When we come back, we're going to talk with Mark Wasikowski, some of his thoughts post-game last night, heading into this game today. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
On March 5th, 2021, we lost a larger-than-life member of the Oregon Ducks family. Chris Bjork passed away surrounded by his wife Allison and their 3 sons, Anders, Henry, and Jordy. After spending more than 26 years working with the University of Oregon, we are proud to establish the Chris Bjork Scholarship Fund in his honor. Go to goducks.com/Bjork Scholarship. That's goducks.com/Bjork Scholarship to make a contribution and help us remember a great Duck.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics. This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Get more info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, man. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Good question coming from George on the YouTube feed after one of the unfortunate plays last night was Jack Scanlon in the midst of what looked like a check swing got hit in the hand. And then after a really long review, and hey, those of you who are in the comment section right now, help out the broadcaster, will you? I think I know like 95% of the weird baseball rules and intricacies, and I have no idea what Mark Wazikowski and Paul Maneri were talking about with the umpire crews. But when that happened, and I said this on the broadcast, like, it was called a fair ball. And then as I started thinking about it, and I forget who it was at A-Rock Twitch on Twitter actually tweeted at me and said, well, hey, if a swing occurs, but it hits the if a ball hits the forearm or the hand or the wrist or whatever, then it's actually just a dead ball and it's a strike. And I thought, oh, well, then why are we debating if it's fair or foul? I thought, all right. So why'd the review take so long? I don't know what – did anybody – I honestly haven't had a chance to go back and watch the TV broadcast. Do you know if Clay and Ben were talking about that at all? Like, did they have any insight? Did anybody – or was everyone just kind of going like, what happened? Because to me – was the question if he swung or not? Because if it's a check swing, is that considered the act of swinging? I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to have to ask one of the coaches. Because if it's a check swing, to me, that's like, well, if you get hit in the shoulder on a check swing, you're going down to first base. So if it hit the hand on the bat, I don't know, is that a dead ball, foul ball? Not a foul ball. Is that a dead ball situation and it's a strike? That's ultimately what the ruling was. But I don't know why it took so long to get to that point. If they must have been deciding if he went around or not. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that Jack Scanlon exited the ball game not immediately after that. He battled in his at-bat. He struck out looking. Then he came back, played defense. But then the following defensive half inning, Sam Olson checked in for the Ducks to do the catching. So, George, to answer your question, depending on what's going on with Jack heading into the game tonight, Sam Olson, Eugene native, spent time at San Jose State and Tacoma Community College before coming back to his hometown to play for the Ducks. He is the backup catcher, and I would suspect that he would be the first guy off the bench, as he has been in the catching position this season. So David said 3 separate calls by the ump is what we saw. Yeah, that's what I was saying, David. I'm glad that you're on the same page as me, because I was like, well, wait, that was called a fair ball. LSU made the play and threw over to first while Scanlon was like just ring in his hand, and I didn't know what the heck happened, to be honest. So Thomas on YouTube, what did he say? They did say dead ball. Yeah, so ultimately, if that was the call that it's a dead ball because it was in the act of swinging, I didn't know what the review was. It must have been had he swung at it or not, I suppose. I don't know. So the point is, it was ultimately called a strike, so it was 0-2, and then Jack eventually struck out in the at-bat. But I always say this. I see something every year that I've never seen. Like, and I don't, like, I'm 28 years old. Like, there are people that have watched a lot more baseball than me and are a heck of a lot smarter than I am when it comes to this stuff. But that was one where I was just sitting there like, I need somebody smarter than me to explain this. And that was when I started crowdsourcing, and that was when A-Rock Twitch said, yeah, I don't know. So, whatever. At the end of the day, just hope that Jack's okay. Jake said that Ben McDonald said, I don't think it got him, and it's just some gamesmanship. Oh, I'd say the way that Jack reacted, it definitely hit him in the hand, but I don't know on that one. Hey, whatever. At the end of the day, call's a call. Didn't really impact the game, I think, in the overall scheme of things, but hope that Jack Scanlon's hand is all right, because that sucks. You know, that just sucks at the end of the day. You never want to see guys get hurt, and so he did exit in the game. And so, there, to answer your question long-windedly, honestly, I should have mentioned that earlier, George, so thanks for the note. See what happens. I thought it was a really good game last night. Mark Wasikowski did too. Mark Wasikowski recapped it for us as we talked to him after the game, and then looking ahead tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. Ducks and Tigers of LSU win or stay home for the Ducks. Mark Wasikowski postgame.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good college baseball game we came up short on. I thought it was, Coleman, the left-hander from LSU, really gutty performance. I thought LSU really pitched the ball very well and got just enough to win. It really did, with a tying run at the plate at the end of the ball game. It was a really good college baseball game, and it was one that you love to win and hate to lose.
Waz, how much were you prepping for Coleman specifically? And while you touch on his performance, not too many guys, if any, have managed to hold your big three, Yovan, Zavala, Matthews, to 1 for 11 with 6 strikeouts. How was he able to keep those three in particular in such check tonight?
Well, I mean, he was a 3-pitch mix up to 94 miles an hour with a breaking ball and a changeup for a strike whenever he wanted to. So it was a Friday night type of a performance out of a young man. I mean, you really do tip your cap to him. He did an outstanding job. And anybody who's showing that's what you see on TV when you're watching Major League Baseball. And often you don't even see that good because you don't see command of 3 pitches with that kind of velocity and from the left side. He was tremendous. He did a great job, and all the credit goes to him.
Waz, you talked about how the lack of a postseason experience on this team, and you guys are just kind of learning as you go. So what's the lesson tonight?
Oh, I don't know that there is a postseason lesson tonight. I mean, other than the fact that they just won a college baseball game that was really, really good. And the tying runs at the plate, the 9th inning, for the people of Eugene to see that type of a ball game, I think it's awesome. I mean, that was an exciting ball game. That was people going nuts, watching 2 really good college baseball teams compete and get after it. I don't know that there's a lesson involved with it. I think the lesson may be that it's better to win than lose.
It's going to get overlooked slightly, but Brett had a pretty damn good performance. Was in grand scheme of things, gives up basically 2 mistake pitches and the triple that turns into an inside the Parker, and otherwise did a really formidable performance. Your thoughts on your starter tonight?
Yeah, I thought the ball was coming out of his hand as well as it did all year long. I thought he pitched very, very well. LSU's a good team. You don't get into a regional final game if you're not a good team. And they're a good team. They got some physical kids. And there was a couple of pitches that got away from Brett, and they hit him. You know, if they pop up or something like that, that didn't happen tonight. They got him, and they deserved it, and they earned the win tonight.
How do you feel about your pitching heading into tomorrow and the bullets you have left in the chamber that way?
I think we've got. I like our pitching. I've liked it all year. I think Coach Angier's developed our pitching very well, and I look to see him throw the ball exceptionally well tomorrow. Won't announce a starter until tomorrow.
Hey, Coach, how are you going to keep your guys loose and mentally prepared for the game tomorrow?
Oh, I don't think they need any help getting mentally prepared. Those guys were all over the game today. They were excited. The last thing I would do is downplay the pitching performance that we just saw out of LSU. You know, they had the Fontenot kid at the end of the ball game and Coleman. Both those guys are sitting at 93, 94 miles an hour, if not better, with secondary stuff. And it was competitive all the way through. There's no lack of focus going on here with this team. That's for sure. That would actually be insulting to even think that was happening. We got beat tonight. LSU played a really, really good game. And the great news is you're talking about a storied program in LSU, and the Ducks are hanging right there with them. And to be honest with you, we're one hit away from tying that ball game right there at the end of the game. So we're not after this thing for a participation trophy. We're after this thing to win this thing. And we're not just happy to be in a regional final game. We're going to come out and give it our best shot to win this regional to go to a super tomorrow.
Respect that you won't name the starter until tomorrow, Wise, but in terms of the postseason roster, are Fuller and Mercado both on it? And is it possible for Kafka, given that he had his shortest performance of the season, could he come back, even whether it's to start, whether it's 2 or 3 innings, whatever the case, can he come back tomorrow night?
Yeah, everybody's available and everybody will be on the table.
That's what you got to do in a regional matchup, right? Mark Wasikowski, I thought great post-game conversation with him as he talked with members of the media. And now getting ready for tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll talk with Coach Waz, the latest from the Oregon baseball head coach on our pregame show coming up at 6:45 this evening, and a 7 o'clock first pitch right here on the Oregon Sports Network on the radio side. And, of course, the ESPN family of networks has you covered for, well, a lot of different regionals here today. We're going to go through the entire bracket, but there's still so many different things going on. There's going to be some live updates for you here during the 1 o'clock hour. When we come back, a little bit more on baseball and also a look back on the Oregon men's and women's basketball seasons, as we always do at the end of the year, going through some of the highlights of the year. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say let's go, faster and further, revving with power and slicing through curves. From the athletic RAV4 hybrid to the elegant Venza and the swagger-filled Sienna, we're taking adventure further. So let's go places, Toyota hybrids.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say let's go, faster and further, revving with power and slicing through curves. From the athletic RAV4 hybrid to the elegant Venza and the swagger-filled Sienna, we're taking adventure further. So let's go places, Toyota hybrids.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Hundo P. Hundo P. Adjective. Short for being 100% sure or certain. As in, if we get a puppy, I'll Hundo P always walk it.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union here inside the Country Financial Studio. I'm Joey Mack. Crumble Cookies, always bringing you 150 rotating flavors that change out weekly. Come see them in Eugene off Coburg Road and a new Roseburg location as well. Still haven't gotten the churro one. We're going to have to figure that out. I missed it. Did I tell you I missed it when I was in there last? They didn't have it. That's the thing. That's how they get you, though. You know, you come back in for the next flavor, and it's... Dang it, it works! Oregon baseball tonight, 7 o'clock against LSU. The Ducks win and they move on, lose and they don't get a chance to move on to the Super Regionals. The Ducks in a really good game last night. Looking forward to seeing what happens here tonight. And we'll see what that pitching is going to look like. I think that is a huge key for the Ducks. You know, everybody's going to be available. It's winner take all. Speaking of that, the Pac-12, you know, Stanford, Oregon State are also today, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, playing elimination games. So the Pac-12, a little bit on the ropes. Arizona is already through out of the Tucson Regional. But how about Oregon State? They and Dallas Baptist aren't the hosts. TCU was hosting that regional. They're out. So you're going to have at least one big-time upset after Florida already went down. In their own ballpark, Florida went 2-Q as the 15 national seed. They're out. It's going to be fun. I always love this. So tonight on the broadcast, I'll go through the entire bracket. That'll be kind of the theme just to keep you updated. If you missed it as well, after a stellar regular season, this was all announced on Thursday after we got off the air. I wanted to make sure that for our Duck Insider audience, we had it for you. Aaron Zavala has been named the Pac-12 Conference Player of the Year. Zavala is the first Ducks player to claim the conference honor. Zavala one of 5 Ducks on the Pac-12 All-Conference team and one of 8 to earn conference accolades. 2 Ducks were also named to the Pac-12 All-Defensive team. The Player of the Year, Aaron Zavala, is joined on that All-Conference team by starting pitcher Robert Alstrom, closing pitcher Colby Summers. I was waiting for Scott to hit the button. Robert Alstrom, Colby Summers, Aaron Zavala, of course, and then Kenyon Yovan and Gabe Matthews, both also all Pac-12 conference. I mean, just a truly, truly tremendous honor for the Ducks. Cullen Kafka, Josh Kasevich, and Tanner Smith received honorable mention all-league recognition, while Alstrom and Matthews were both named to the all-defensive team as well. And, man, Gabe Matthews, I'll tell you what, that dude's a Gold Glove first baseman. Like, we have seen that time and time again. Gabe Matthews has saved so many potential errors for the Ducks. So I wanted to make sure that we got all that in. We talked about it on the broadcast throughout the week. But, man, what a accomplishment. This, by the way, is the most all-time that Oregon has ever had honored by the conference with 8. And that just tells you how good of a season it was for the Ducks. Meanwhile, we're getting ready for men's basketball season as the Ducks continue on the recruiting trail. And let's just say it's going well, huh, Duck fans? Of course, here on the show, we can't talk about them until they sign that national letter of intent. I don't want to get an angry email from compliance, but what a year it has been for all of men's basketball and women's basketball across the country with the transfer portal. Things are going wild. Let's just say I think that Dane Altman is a master of a Rubik's Cube. You know what we need for the desk? We need a Rubik's Cube. Can we make this? I'm sure you can make this. You're a better designer than me. I want a Rubik's Cube with a picture of Coach Altman on it. And one side is just Coach Altman, and we've assembled the Rubik's Cube, and then we put it on the desk. You think we could do that? Buy a Rubik's Cube. Okay, do you have one you're willing to donate? So we could get a Rubik's Cube, put a picture of Coach Altman on it, and then just cut it and stick it to... I think we have to do it. I would put that on the desk. I think, yeah, that's definitely something that we are doing. Well, the men's basketball season, though, sure was a lot of fun. And when we come back, we're going to have the season in review for you, as it's our last week of Duck Insider, so while we get ready for Oregon baseball, we've also got our season in review for men's basketball and women's basketball still coming up. Quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a little bit of fun. You get to make fun of the broadcaster after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. Shadow Hills Country Club is your family resort just minutes from home. Call for a tour today. Oregon baseball tonight, 7 o'clock. Win or season's over for the Ducks against LSU. 6:45 pregame show coming your way. Oregon basketball, another impressive season. And one of the things we do every year during the last week of the show, look back on some of the highlights of the sports, at least that we call and that we get a chance to really live through. We'll review every season as it comes to a close, but I always like to punch out as it is with some highlights. We'll begin with Oregon men's basketball. The season in review as called by, unfortunately, yours truly. Thank you and welcome to another edition of Oregon men's basketball. It's about a week later than we thought it would be for the season opener, but the Ducks are getting ready to face Missouri coming up in Omaha, of all places. Now ahead, Terry open for three, got it. Lazy pass, Duarte to the basket, the slam. The Ducks will split the trip in Omaha. The Ducks win 83-70, their first win of the season. Terry the rebound, 5 seconds to go. Terry up the floor, looking to try to score all the way to the basket. What a job by Jalen Terry. Using the speed, took it coast to coast. Nice job. Oh, and a steal and slam for Williams. Pass to Dante, slams it with two hands. Welcome to Seattle. The Ducks and the Dogs meeting to start Pac-12 play. Beating the Huskies always feels good. So let's hope that Oregon men's basketball is up to the task. Duarte to Hardy, fakes a three, gets a man in the air, kicks to Williams. His left corner three is good. 23 seconds to go. Ducks lead 72-71. Washington ball. Pass goes to Roberts. Blocked by Duarte. Out of bounds off Washington. What a play by Duarte. Time expiring. Half-court shot off the top of the backboard. Oregon wins. Kicks back out. Lawson for three. Got it. And Duarte steals a pass around the perimeter. Running. Dunking. Gets a man on the ground. Blocked from behind by Williams. It's Tiemann who's rejected. Ducks with numbers. All the way to the rack. Omarui off the pass. Deflected nicely by the Ducks. Now Estrada at the buzzer. Got it to go! One-on-one. He gets into the paint. Now kicks out Omarui's three. From the top of the key. Perfect swish. Eugene Omarui. Oregon 73. Stanford 56. Ducks on an 8-game winning streak. They moved 8-1 and 3-0 in Pac-12 play. Oregon now 28 consecutive wins at Matthew Knight Arena. The second longest home winning streak in program history. The Ducks around the country that's had to shake off some rust, but they're one of the only ones in the Pac-12 that's had to go through two pauses. 5 of Oregon's last 6 games have been postponed. Last time Oregon was at full strength, it was January 9th at Utah. Ducks are going to have Will Richardson making his way back tonight. Dana Altman said on the Toyota Coaches Corner that it was going to be up to Will. He went through shoot-around, went through warm-ups. Will Richardson's ready to go. He's going to make his season debut tonight. Will Richardson up the floor, into the lane, and one! Didn't waste any time. Will Richardson to Richardson, right elbow. Turns to face the basket. Spins, left-hand finish. Oregon wins 86-74 as they knock off the Huskies. The Ducks get back to their winning ways, ending the 2-game skid. All right, Oregon ball out of the timeout to Duarte. He's got it right wing. Surrounded by a bunch of defenders. Passes, now gets it back, and hits a three from the right wing. All right, here we go. 1.1 seconds left. Ducks lead 63-61. Quick inbound to Krisa. He gets a shot up. No good. Oregon will win in Tucson again. 15 on the shot clock. Oregon needs a bucket. Duarte is fouled and one. Ball tipped, and that'll do it. Oregon wins 60-56. Ducks avenge their loss in Boulder taking down the Buffs here in Matthew Knight Arena. Chance to retake the lead, under 2. LJ Figueroa open. Transition triple, LJ hits the J. 12 on the clock. Larson taking it toward the hole. Passes, deflects off a duck. Back to Timmy Allen near midcourt. Duarte traps him there. And he traveled. Double dribble. Timmy Allen turns it over with 3.4 seconds left. Inbound quickly to Allen. He will lob up a 3 off the backboard. Ducks hang on. 67-64. Ducks take down the Utes. To Figueroa, right corner. Bounce pass. Lawson wide open for a jam. O'Connell throwing it up the floor, and Omarui tips it away, intercepts it anyway. The Ducks win 71-68. Find a way. And LJ Figueroa with another steal, and he puts it in. He's got 18 points. Left wing, Richardson going to create some space, spins in the lane, and is fouled and one. What a take from Will Richardson. Perimeter now stolen away by Omarui. He can run and slam. Williams finds Figueroa right underneath the hole. To Omarui, out to Duarte. His 3, good! Ducks lead 75-68. 82-74 the final. The Ducks knock off the Bruins, and Oregon is a win away from a Pac-12 championship. What a game. That last year, Oregon won the Pac-12 title in the regular season for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. They have a chance to make it 4 times in 6 years and back-to-back here, but they have to do it in Corvallis with a victory over their rival in Oregon State. And let's be honest, the Ducks have not had a lot of success here at Gill lately. Richardson, step back 3 again, banked in. Back out Richardson to Williams, open for a 3 near the right wing, it's good. 8 to shoot, Duarte gets by the defense, passes it to Lawson, slam. 80-67 the final. The Ducks win in Corvallis. Oregon goes back to back. And for the 4th time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Well, it feels really good. I'm really, a lot of excitement in the locker room. The guys have, been through a lot, but, they really came together. I like the direction we've been going. I think we're getting better. I think we're making great plays for each other offensively. And that's a big thing at this time of year. You can't be satisfied. You gotta keep getting better.
Hardy to Richardson. Drives, kicks, Figueroa at the shot clock buzzer. LJ Figueroa's got 21. The Ducks will move on. 91-73. Ducks take down Arizona State, and they earned the right to play in the Pac-12 semifinals. The Ducks are heading to March Madness. The bracket is out. Oregon will be in the West region as the 7 seed against VCU. Virginia Commonwealth.
Ernie Johnson along with Andy Katz. We're tracking the big story of the big dance, and that is that a no contest has been declared in what was to be the last game of the night tonight between Oregon and VCU. So Oregon has advanced into the round of 32, and this is all because of COVID protocols involving VCU.
I guess the best word was just kind of disbelief. Obviously, unique situation. Been a long week trying to get ready for one game here now, so our attention, shifts to Iowa.
Will Richardson pulling up for 3. Oh, he hits it! Draws a little defensive pressure, kicks it to Figueroa for 3 from NBA range. Duarte up top, pass to Kepnong, he slams! Richardson, pass to Kepnong. Against Garza. Kepnong pass to Duarte. What a finish! 95-80 the final. Oregon is going back to the Sweet 16 for the 5th time under head coach Dana Altman.
The Pac-12 has shown exactly how strong it was.
I feel like we don't get the respect that we deserve. It tells you guys that our conference, we have talent, and we are really good.
Dana Altman and Andy Enfield fist bump at midcourt as the Trojans advance to the Elite 8, and Oregon's season will end in the Sweet 16 with an 82-68 final.
I told them one game doesn't define us. We had a nice year. We did a lot of good things, and I love the guys' perseverance, fighting through 2 pauses. I mean, it's a tough year. It was a tough year on everybody. So I'm very proud of them for sticking together, fighting through, winning 21 ball games, winning a conference championship, playing very well against Iowa. I want them to remember some of the good things.
Great to look back on an awesome season. My thanks to Rob Joyce and Scott Phillips for putting it together, both the radio and video. Pretty cool. And now we all look ahead to next year, and can't get here soon enough, can it? Hey, how about when we come back? Let's do the same thing for women's basketball after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
Football
I want to be a
stadium.
bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Oregon baseball coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. The season is on the line for the Ducks. We'll talk with Mark Wazakowski on the Toyota Coaches Corner with a 6:45 pregame show beginning from PK Park. The Ducks against LSU. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Hoodoo. Man, Hoodoo's been a longtime partner, Crescent Lake Resort, all the ski areas. They've got everything else that Hoodoo has. A longtime partner supporting Oregon athletics. Thanks to Hoodoo for their years of support. And before you get to PK Park for Oregon baseball, stop at North Fork Public House. Open for dine-in and takeout, northforkeugene.com. Well, women's basketball, it was a tremendous season for the Ducks. And look, we all know that since then there's been movement amongst the transfer portal. But I feel like the Ducks have put together a really good team for next season. And that's after this past year was filled with some of the youthful bumps that you're used to seeing, right? You're used to a few speed bumps with a young team like the Ducks had. But one big bright spot for Oregon was Sedona Prince. And after heading to training camp as one of 13 finalists, Sedona Prince was one of 12 players officially named to the 2021 USA Basketball Women's America Cup team on Sunday. The 6'7" Oregon women's basketball standout will depart on June 8th, that's tomorrow, for San Juan, Puerto Rico to compete in the 2021 FIBA America Cup set for June 11th to 19th. The top 4 finishing teams at the America Cup will advance to compete in one of 4 2022 FIBA World Cup qualifying tournaments in hopes of earning one of the 12 spots to the 2022 FIBA World Cup. I like Team USA's chances, for whatever that's worth. Prince, who averaged 10.4 points and 3.9 rebounds per game while helping Oregon to a 4 straight Sweet 16 last year, is one of 2 Pac-12 players to make the team, along with Stanford's Hayley Jones. The Texas native is looking to collect more hardware with Team USA, having already won a gold medal at the 2018 FIBA America's U16 Championship. She also took home bronze medals at the 2015 FIBA America's U16 Championship and the 2016 FIBA U17 World Cup. 10 nations from North, South, and Central America and the Caribbean will take part in the 2021 FIBA America Cup. Games will begin on June 11th, but Team USA actually doesn't play until June 12th. If you'd like to tune in, all of the games are available on ESPN+. I've really loved all the random ESPN Plus shows, by the way. They've been great. Quarterfinals will be played on June 17th after the preliminary round games wrap up, and hopefully Sedona Prince and Team USA will be moving on. Congratulations to Sedona, though, and I'm really looking forward to what a full year of Sedona Prince and what a fully healthy Sedona Prince looks like. We might see it a little bit here with Team USA and then heading into next season. Similar to men's basketball, we've got the full season highlight recap package with Terry Johns and Bev Smith on the call. We'll have that for you tomorrow as we sprinkle in our different recaps throughout the course of the year. We'll have Oregon football for you on Wednesday as we look ahead to the fall. And I also am planning to be previewing not just Oregon track and field in the NCAA championships, but Oregon baseball continuing an NCAA championship run after a victory over LSU tonight. That's the plan. Tomorrow on the show, Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullins will also join us to lead things off. I'm planning, did you hear that? I'm getting better. I am planning to have Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullins on with us at 1 o'clock, and we'll do a recap of Oregon baseball and the action last night, hear from Mark Wazakowski. Then we'll have the same women's basketball season highlight package for you. So, Oregon baseball tonight. If you haven't checked for tickets at PK Park, do it now. If you're live with us, coming up at 2 o'clock. I'm actually talking with Mark Wazakowski at 2 o'clock for the Toyota Coaches Corner. We've got 5 minutes. Coach Waz, if I'm late, it's just because I had to go to the bathroom real fast. Won't be late for Coach Waz. Never late for Coach Waz. Coach Waz is definitely like, it's not Lombardi time, it's Wazakowski time for Coach. Oh, no. 20 minutes early is on time. Oh, yeah, this is the way that Coach Wazakowski runs the baseball program. Looking forward to talking with him, though. Look, the pitching, the offense, the defense, this is postseason baseball. You're going to have some breaks. You're going to have to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes to win the game. When you get to this point in the postseason, the best teams are the only ones that are left standing. Ducks are one of those teams. I think that Oregon is one of the best 16 teams in the country. But they're going to have to show it tonight because LSU is going to be riding some momentum after 2 wins yesterday, including one over the Ducks. Paul Maneri said they're going to be all hands on deck. They're going to have to piece it together out of the bullpen and their pitching staff. Can the offense for LSU get to the Oregon pitching staff? So many different things to break down. At the end of the day, it's just one baseball game. Ducks are good enough to win the one baseball game. Mark Wazakowski always says they got to be the most competitive team. The most competitive team is going to win tonight. 6:45 pregame show, 7 o'clock first pitch. Win or go home for the Ducks. See you then.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents